Hey, what up, everybody? Steviebreech coming to you. Good old video talking about Vladimir Kozlov. I know that a lot of you guys out there think that if I'm going to be making a video about Vladimir Kozlov, it's going to be some sort of burial or some sort of joke or something like that. But honestly, when Vladimir Kozlov came on the scene in 2008, I thought he was going to be some sort of big force in the WWE. He was a guy that I really got behind, and I thought that he would be, a main eventer or somebody like sort of like challenging for the WWE Championship. He'd be used in the likes of Kane and the Big Show, some sort of bigger, stronger, tough guy that really was going to be a force in the movie. And it seems that these days he's being used as nothing more than a joke. And I don't understand why they would replace Zack Ryder in the tag team with Santino Marella. There was no exit storyline for Vladimir at all, and these guys are two-time tag champions. And I'm all excited for Zack Ryder to be on TV. I've made videos getting pumped that this guy should be featured on TV more. He's a self-made man, and that Ryder, has earned his spot to work his way onto television. But in order just to sort of steal Vladimir's spot doesn't really make any sense at all. I think Vladimir Kozlov, when he came on the scene in 2008, he plowed through everybody on SmackDown, worked his way up into the main event, was getting used with Jeff Hardy, getting used with Triple H. Yeah, got inserted into a triple threat. World title match, because of his undefeated streak. And even though Edge pinned Triple H and he didn't, lose the match under Samoa Joe's rules, the winning streak still continued. And he was rolling through all these guys really good. And then just one night on Monday Night Raw, he showed up and said he wanted to be the guy that fought Undertaker at WrestleMania, and everybody was all, that's not what I want to see. And Shawn Michaels wanted to fight Undertaker as well, so they had a match, and Shawn Michaels is the guy that ended the undefeated streak, which I'm not saying Shawn Michaels shouldn't have. It just didn't make any sense that these guys had a match in order to see who's going to fight Undertaker at WrestleMania. I know that the streak is sort of a big deal, but it's not like it's a real title or anything like that, so I didn't see why these guys would fight it out and you'd kill off the Vladimir Kozlov character, because you can say that was the end of the line for Kozlov as being a real heel at the top of the thing, was losing this match to Shawn Michaels. And after that, he just sort of floated in oblivion for a while. He didn't have a match on Mania that year. Ended up being drafted over to SmackDown, and as a second coming, I apologize, he ended up getting drafted from SmackDown to ECW, and he's had sort of this repackaged second coming. He came out on ECW for the first time wearing a full-on Russian military outfit, and it was just nothing but badass. Honestly, I thought that was going to be the real, sort of a second coming. Everybody looked at ECW as the on-screen TV version of OVW, and they could, build him back up as some sort of, real guy. But he really sort of just floated in oblivion again for a while. And near the end of ECW, he came up and he formed the Triad. He joined some sort of stable. It was William Regal, Ezekiel Jackson, and Vladimir Kozlov, and they were trying to one up each other. One guy would come out and have a match and hit his finisher, and the other guy would come out and they'd hit his finisher, and it was just back and forth sort of thing until they finally came together and they formed some sort of a tag team alliance against Christian. Christian kept on defeating him one way or another, but they were still the main guys of ECW, and I thought that they would look good once they split off and sent somewhere else. Um, that was ended by the ending of ECW. Kozlov ended back up on Raw, and that's when he turned into this jokey character with Santino Marella, which, has had his high points when they went overseas last year. Kozlov got the big pop and the big reaction, which was kind of funny, seeing how Santino was involved in the feud with Sheamus at the time. Well, it wasn't really the feud, but they were the on-screen feud at the time while Sheamus was getting ready for the pay-per-view match. But Kozlov got the huge chant, which I don't think anybody thought that they were going. So you got to give your hats off to the UK for getting the first Kozlov chant ever going. But this is the guy that, like I said, should be challenging the guys like Big Show. Should be guys like Mark Henry, Big Show. This is a big, bad, strong dude, and I would love to see him. If he's not going to be in the tag team with Santino anymore, this is the guy that needs to be featured in singles matches. He can be built up as the big heel or even as the face. You can sort of keep that jokey, I can't speak English that well, character going, but at least have him, dominating people in the ring and as a force for the U.S. Championship or something like that, because Kozlov is a real, talent. He reminds me a lot of Rocky IV, Ivan Drago, the guy that Freaking he fought from Russia, and that was an all-out good movie. A lot of people say that Rocky IV is probably one of the worst movies, but Rocky IV is a great movie in my book. I'd love to watch it today, and that's the guy that I think of, Kozlov. And Kozlov needs to be a champion, if not the one battling for the world championship or a U.S. championship, intercontinental championship. But he is a guy that should be getting used more on TV. It'd probably be the only pro Kozlov video out there. But all in all, if you have any thoughts on Kozlov, just leave me some comments down in the box. But I want to see more Kozlov on TV, and I want to see him used as a real wrestler, because that's what he should be used as.